Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, good morning.
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 Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Kenneth, how you doing? So Katie's not on yet? So I
No.
have a quick question. Maybe one of you can help me with. Isn't there some way, like let's say when you get a new client and you add them to command, that it generates a letter? Let's say if you put their email in, it'll generate a letter to them saying, "Hey, I'm Kenneth Powell, and thank you for choosing me as your realtor or whatever." Isn't there a letter that goes out like that? No one knows? Okay.
Well, I can't answer that for you, Kenneth, unfortunately. Maybe somebody else on the call may.
Okay, thank you. I think it's a letter. I've seen it before. I just don't know how to get to it.
Most likely you have to start them on a smart plan in order to generate that letter.
So like on a campaign, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, well, not necessarily a campaign, just the smart plan where you can put in how you reach out to them, as far as you can set up your own smart plan where, this week I want to do an email, next week you get a reminder to send a text, the third week reminder to send an email, that kind of thing.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, check
I'll
out
figure it
smart
out.
plans. Yeah.
And congratulations, Zach, on your offers.
Thank you. It was insane. Like in 24 hours, got 23 offers total. And the one we ended up with was 20 grand over. So it was just
Oh wow.
It just came out of nowhere.
That is hot. That's great, man.
Yeah, it was. So I'm tapping into that neighborhood as much as possible.
Really, that's good. That's good. I'm driving. I may have a listing on Thursday. So I'm going to drive out and look at the properties. There's one listed. The lady wants to list and she's my sister, so she hadn't decided if she's going to do it yet. But she's thinking 180. It's a townhouse in Norcross, and hers is 1,332 square feet, and there's one listed already for this 1,500 square feet. It's a 3-story, and it doesn't have the same curb appeal. It looks really dumpy. The 3-story does anyway, and opposed to her, the 2-story looks more like a house, a livable neighborhood. But the 3-story is only listed at 165. So I'm gonna go out there and look at it to see what it's like, so I can get a real feel of it, so we won't overprice.
Katie says she's by herself in the Zoom call.
Yeah, she just called me. Hey guys, it's Nadesh. She just called me and said the same thing. I don't know where she is, but we're here.
I don't either.
You see? Yeah, I don't know either. She was,
I'm sending
chose
her a
Google.
link right now. I'm emailing it to her. Oh. Hey, Katie, yeah, there's a group of us here. I'm going to email you the link. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Thank you, Zach.
Hello, darlings. How is everyone?
Hi.
Hi, I'm so sorry. So unfortunately, we have one work Zoom account and I can't start this one until the Zoom call before is over. And so I apologize. I tried to like make my own and it wouldn't let me. So thank y'all so much for being patient. So first I want to start off our call with what kind of great news we can celebrate. I know that Mr. Zachary Rowe has some great stuff going on.
Yes, we got one of my listings under contract.
How many offers did you have?
23 total.
Oh, 23 offers. Okay, great. Sure,
And then-
sure.
And then sold for 20 grand over. All
Sure.
cash.
20 grand. I was wrong then. I'd said 10 grand over.
20 grand over, no appraisal, no inspection needed, all cash.
I can't.
Very good, man.
And then,
Look at Kenneth's face.
and then I got another couple signed to start looking for a property, and then yesterday I just signed for a $460,000 listing that I'm working on getting today put together. So
That's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah,
Good for you. It was the best reaction I've ever seen.
What did I
It was a
do?
combination of shock and awe. It was great. Awesome stuff going on.
That sounds so good.
Kenneth, you got anything good going on?
Well, I've been talking to my sister about listing a house. So
Okay.
she may list it this week.
Perfect. Where does she
Thing
live?
is, well, she hasn't listed yet. But it's a townhome that's 1,332 square feet, and it's located in Norcross. It's a nice community, but they have some 3-star. Hers is a 2-story, 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath, and there's a 3-story, 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath there, listed at $165. It doesn't have the same curb appeal, so I'm driving out there now just to look at it. It's vacant.
Nice.
Now there is one that sold within 180 days, and again, I'm still learning my CMA thing. It sold within 180 days in the same community, and it sold for I want to say 189, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
But it has more square footage. It had an additional bedroom and more square footage.
Yeah. Well,
So
typically
we will see
what we
happens.
see. Oops, sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Typically, we see that the price and the days on market are linked, where you're going to make the most money the shorter the period of time that it's on the market. Zach, how long was yours on the market total? A couple days. Zach, you're muted. Okay, you're still muted. Okay, so his was on the market for I think a couple days. So, hey Chelsea. Okay, cool. So we are going to start going over some of our housekeeping stuff. So first of all, did anyone have a closing or two in the last couple of weeks that has bumped them up into Group B?
48 hours. Sorry. Okay, I'm done.
14 hours? Okay, cool. Thank you. So did anyone have a closing or two that now has bumped them from Group A to Group B? So they have at least 2 closings under their belt now. Anyone?
Okay.
I will update that list as we go on over time. The next little piece of housekeeping is I wanted to go over our schedule for the 22nd. Next Monday is going to be not in groups A, B, and C. It's going to be the different topics again, and you can choose whichever topic interests you the most or whichever time is better for you. So 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. is buyer consultation, what to do before, during, and after, as well as how to fill out that BBA. The 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock time slot will be social media marketing, both from the free and the paid for standpoint. And we have a lot of really good success stories. Nadej, Stephanie Rogers have been getting a lot from their social media marketing. Hi, Taylor. And then the 2 to 3 p.m. time slot will be circle prospecting. So that's typically going to just be your door knocking, your phone calls around your listings, your open houses, and things like that. That can be a really great and free source of leads whenever you're first starting off. So I'm excited about that one. That's kind of how I got my start as well. What topics do y'all want to see for the month of July? Because I'm going to take notes and make sure that we include everything that y'all want to go over. One person did ask for sale by owner and expired scripts. So the even Mondays for the month of July are going to be the 20th and the 6th. So July 6th and July 20th are going to be our even numbered Mondays, and that's where we'll have our topics. So I do have for sale by owners and expireds. I do think that we need to go over in command the listing presentation and things like that so that we can figure out how to print it properly. There's different templates out there for y'all. So y'all tell me, either throw them up in the chat. I muted everyone, I think, but unmute yourself. I'd love to hear from you because these are y'all's classes. So you tell me what you want to learn.
Hi, Katie. This is Sade.
Hi, Sade. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
I would like if we could do one after we get the listing. So after listing presentation, kind of just the steps of what to do once we get the listing.
Okay. So you got a listing. Now what?
So I do like the listing presentation. And
Yep.
before you joined us, I did pose a question because I have I don't know that it would dictate a whole class, but I have a gentleman in Los Angeles who wants to relocate to Georgia.
Okay.
And if I recall, if I remember correctly, there's somewhere when we put in our prospect that it'll generate a letter or an email to them.
Yes.
Saying, hey, welcome aboard, and, you know, I'm Kenneth or whatever. And I would need to know, opposed to me sending, just say if I found 6 homes for them, opposed to me sending a email with 6 attachments, is there any way, I don't know, maybe it's just that I'm not computer savvy in this regard, but is there any way we can put them all into one file so it won't look like we just keep sending them junk mail?
Yes, so let's do this. I can probably add that on to the end of what we're talking about today. We're going to go over negotiations and different kinds of lead gen. So I'm going to add to the end here. Let's talk about how to set up a buyer auto search where the buyer is automatically emailed the listings that come up. As they come up, they'll automatically get that. And then I know that you're driving, Kenneth, so this will obviously get put on YouTube and you could follow along whenever you rewatch it, but that's a good idea. So you got a listing. Now what for sale by owner and expired scripts? Let's throw in there the listing appointment. We can go over the presentation, the pre-list kit, any other topics that y'all want to see for the month of July, because I want to set those in advance so that you can make your calendars.
I was thinking, and I don't know exactly what it would be, but if maybe we could go over the different types of offers that we would be looking over to present to our clients. So like if we have a listing, the different offers types that may come in, and how to really break it down for a client so that go over like a VA loan, what that may look like for you, conventional versus an FHA, all that sort of stuff.
I like this. Let's do a whole class based on financing from a buyer and seller perspective where we can go over the types of loans. We can have our Supreme peeps come in and help us with that one.
That'd be great.
Yeah, let's have that be its own class, all on financing types of loans. Perfect.
Yeah, that would be great, Katie. I was just actually going to say that because when I think someone mentioned about an out-of-town buyer, and so like knowing the difference, and I ran into that this past weekend, knowing the difference between how to get them qualified when they're coming from another state, but they're not coming with a job transfer,
Sure.
And so the lender needs to show, proof of income. And if it's a business, can it operate from anywhere? They have to show proof of that. So I kind of learned a little bit about that over the weekend when I ran into an out-of-town buyer.
Perfect. We will, I'll see if I can get the Supreme peeps to come in on that one as well. And then we can hear it straight from the horse's mouth, right? Like exactly what's going on with the type of loans. I can give you some ideas, and yet I want to hear straight from a loan officer. So I love that idea. That's awesome. Let me know, shoot it in the chat, shoot me an email, a text if y'all have other suggestions, because these are your classes. I'm happy to talk for an hour. I'm really good at it. And yeah, I want to make sure that it's useful, a good use of your time. So our next little tip is remember to join the KWPR Productivity Coaching All-Star Facebook group, along with the Keller Williams Peachtree Road and the Rawls Facebook groups. So if you were to search KW Rawls group, that's one. Keller Williams Road is another, and then KWPR Productivity Coaching All-Stars is the last, because you're going to see lots of good announcements. You can ask people for open houses and things like that. So great information on there. Just FYI on some classes that are coming up this week. There's a DocuSign class tomorrow at 11 a.m. It is, I think, the same one that they did last week, last Wednesday. So DocuSign's at 11, and then Command, Getting Paid with Opportunities, is going to be the next one. So those two are tomorrow at 11 a.m. and noon. Then there's this I love this girl. Ro was on my bowl team whenever we did bowl this past winter. She's amazing. She has such amazing attendance at her open houses. So she did an open house class for our office a couple months ago, and it was so amazing that we asked her to come back. So Ro was teaching that class Wednesday from 12:30 to 1:30. I'm going to send everyone a Zoom link and calendar invite for that, because I think it's very beneficial to attend. And then Friday is as per usual, Friday at 1 is the Supreme Essentials class. Questions on classes? No team meeting this week because it's summer schedule.
Yeah, hi Katie. Like your past classes, you posted it on YouTube, I think. So
yeah, Kayla posted on YouTube. Mm-hmm.
So the other classes, like the one on Wednesday that Ro is having, will that get posted in case?
Yes, I believe anything that is on Zoom right now in our office, except for like the Supreme ones, I think that those do get posted on the YouTube channel. I can confirm with Kayla, but it should be anything that's done in our office gets posted within a couple of days. So, let's see, reminder, must wear a mask in the office if y'all come in. We're doing the Zoom classes through at least June. I think in July, we're gonna be able to do our one-on-ones in person, which is awesome. I can't wait to see you guys in person again and be not in this office. We likely have a virtual Ignite class that's coming up in mid-July. So stand by. I know a lot of y'all have a couple classes to make up here and there if you took Ignite the last time. And I know a lot of our new agents need to take Ignite. So that is likely coming in mid-July. Stand by. It's going to be 3 hours a day for 12 business days. So it's typically 2 full weeks and then 2 business days the last week. It's going to take care of your post-license credits, which is great. And then it just teaches you, oh my gosh, a little bit about everything that you need to kind of jump into real estate, which is great. And then last reminder is Bold Pivot, which is the online Bold class, is coming back July 14th through August 6th. So it is Tuesdays and Thursdays for 4 weeks, and it's $99. Whenever Bold comes into town, and we have it here in Atlanta, it's 1 day a week for 7 weeks, and it's $799. So it's legitimately an eighth of the cost, and it's online. So 2 hours a day, every Tuesday and Thursday for 4 weeks. So look for the sign up for that. I believe I put the link in our Facebook group already. $99, amazing use of your money. Really helps you to get into your legion, your mindset, etc. questions about any of those announcements?
I'm sorry. Hey, Katie, this is Jasmine here. What day did you say the bowl pivot starts again?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that it's July 14th through August 6th. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and find the link for that so I can put it July 2020. And I'll put it in our chat so that y'all, perfect. Yep, I'm gonna put it in the chat for y'all so that you have the link to it. $99 business write-off. And I promise you, even if you only get one piece of business from those classes, hey, I'll pay $99 to have a $300,000 listing. I'm happy. And you learn stuff that you just, it sticks with you for forever anyway, so.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
So the next thing we're gonna do is I would really love if y'all would share. Remember last time, I think 2 weeks ago, we had our bold laws that we were gonna be following. So if y'all wouldn't mind, I'm gonna share my screen and we can look at these bold laws. And I would love to know which ones y'all concentrated on and which ones, and just share with us a little bit about what that looked like for you. So let me share my screen. Okay, can y'all see? Can you still see it? Okay, so I'm gonna scroll, I'm gonna zoom out a little bit so you can read it better. Oh, crud. Oh, crud. Here we go.
I'm seeing a whole bunch of craziness on the screen.
You should see this purple and white.
I see a couple Excel sheets and a Word document.
Oh, never mind. Stand by. Oh dear. How do I get out of sharing my screen? Oh, because I'm sharing this computer screen. How does that look?
Much better.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jamie. Okay. So here are the bold laws. And so does anyone remember which one they had last week? And I would love, love, love to hear how that went for you. And then pick one for these next 2 weeks. Put it somewhere where you're going to see it every day. I don't care if it's the background of your phone, if it's on your refrigerator or your mirror. This is mine. I look at them literally every time I see my phone. I love bold laws. Zach, are you raising your hand? Yes, please. Okay, what was yours?
No pressure, no diamonds.
Love it. Tell me more.
Because they happen. The clients were exposed to COVID, and we had to take the listing off. That's the listing we just sold this past Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So it turned and went 20 grand over. So that was great. But it was a lot. I was getting like 15 phone calls a day for it, and like having to send a bunch of stuff and run over, and it was insane, but it turned out really well in the end.
Yeah, awesome. So I like to use the expression blessed to be stressed, because in real estate, if we're not busy, you probably aren't making a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
So I would almost always prefer to be busier than less busy. I have 7 closings this month. And so it's been a really fun start, right? So happy, like blessed to be stressed, right? And yet there's lots of situations going on with several of those deals. We got some legal situations with some of them. And so, yeah, no pressure, no diamonds. I have to remind myself that sometimes, like in July, after these 7 have closed, I'll feel much better and it will be okay. So who has picked out their bold law for the next 2 weeks and will share with us what it is and why?
I'll go.
Yes, Jamie, thanks.
Well, last week was my You Teach People How to Treat You. And this week I'm doing Be, Do, Have.
Okay, tell me.
Well, the B do have kind of comes from the whole last week of you teach people how to treat you.
Okay.
And I just basically had to bite the bullet and, you know, get off my butt as far as I'm super busy as a realtor assistant, but I'm not super busy as an agent. So
Okay.
I finally just had to bite the bullet and recruited my marketing assistant, as I showed you.
Your daughter?
Standing right here watching this right now, my marketing assistant.
Hey girl, hey.
She's been filling the cup. She helped me put stamps on all the mailers, and I finally just, you know, I need to be an agent. I need to do the work so I can have what I want.
Yes.
And
you have to be, you have to do, and then you can have, or they've actually changed it to be, do, achieve now. And the reason they say that is because you can have something and yet I can take that away from you.
Yeah.
If you achieve something, I can't take that away from you. You've already achieved it. I can't take an achievement away.
Yeah.
So it's now be, do, achieve. And I love that. Thank you.
And it kind of started from you teach people how to treat you.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, there's some people that I know that are working with other agents, and I've had conversations with them, but it's just like, you know, like I learned in Ignite with, you know, Cara, it's like, I'm a secret agent because I don't really talk about what I do. So I taught them not to come to me. I taught them to go to other people because they were more present and there. And then I also use that in just everyday life, you know.
Okay, I love that.
Stay neutral.
Thank you.
Involved in the drama, and you know. So yeah, so it kind of just rolls into, I'm like, well, I don't want to be in that boat that I was last week, being the secret agent. So this week, my face is going to be everywhere. So,
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. No, thank you. I appreciate it. Does anyone else want to share theirs? And if not, we will move on to negotiate.
Well, I can't see it, to be honest with you. So
that's okay, Kenneth. Do you know?
So the young lady who just spoke,
Jamie?
She and I we had the same one from last week.
Okay.
And what she just described to you, I'm going to have to meet her because she's really just described everything about me. About being a secret agent and everything she said, I concur.
Okay.
That's all I had to say. But when I get a chance, I get to the office, I'll look at, I think there's one on the wall near the back of the office. Yeah. And that I will look at it and choose one.
I love it. Jamie, meet Kenneth. Kenneth, meet Jamie.
Thank you, Jamie.
Hey, Kenneth.
Thank you for sharing, because that's really me. And it really helps open my eyes.
Yeah, we don't want y'all to be a secret agent because that means that no one knows that you're licensed. And I've talked to a couple of y'all where you've been licensed and people didn't know about it. And maybe they already went and bought or sold a home and it wasn't with you because they weren't aware. And let me tell you something, that hurts a bit because your brain will start doing the math on that and you'll know how much you missed out on. More importantly though than just that one sale, you've missed out on however many clients you could have gotten as a referral or however much repeat business you would have gotten from that client. They may just go with whatever agent they used for the rest of their life. So yeah, clients are priceless. It's not just the one transaction that you miss. It's any of their friends that they'll refer to you, etc. So awesome. Okay, I'm going to unshare my screen. Yeah. Oh, hello. Who's that, Trina?
Yeah, I was going to choose, I didn't choose one last week, but I'm going to choose one, what you focus on expands.
Okay, tell me more.
I'm going to focus on listings and getting a listing, and I'm going to do that, you know, for the next 2 weeks and kind of focus on that daily.
Yes. Okay. And so what forms of lead gen did we decide this morning that you're going to focus on for that?
I'm going to focus on expireds.
Yeah, you are. I'm excited. Awesome. Thank you, Trina. All right. I will stop sharing. Okay, perfect. So next thing I wanted to chat about is negotiations, because I know that so many of y'all are writing offers, accepting offers, which I think is amazing. I'm so proud. So Trina had someone go under contract. Zach had a listing go under contract. Kenneth's driving to see a listing right now. Jessie McLaughlin has her parents' house listed, about to list her brother's house. I mean, it's awesome. I'm so proud of Nadej has like 2 or 3 people under contract right now, buyers. So I think that's great. Let's make sure that we are as well versed in negotiations as possible so that we're just really well trained. We can represent our buyers at the highest level and we keep deals together, because sometimes it can get a little hard, and sometimes it's more difficult to fall out of a transaction and get them back under contract and moving forward with that one than it is to just get over a couple hurdles with what they're under contract right now. So there are a couple different times where we have to do negotiations besides just the original offer. So what's the next step for negotiations after just getting under contract?
What do you mean, like inspection?
Yes. So what's that period called?
Due diligence.
Very good. Thank you, Nadej. So you've already moved through with at least 2 buyers, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. So the next level of negotiations is going to come with the due diligence period. Then you may even have a 3rd time if it doesn't appraise. So there's going to be several different moments of negotiations throughout a transaction. So with the offer, you know, we went over a lot of things during last Monday's writing an offer class at 2 p.m. that did get loaded to the YouTube page. So please check that out if you didn't. We went over every term that we could, you know, be flexible with, be really competitive with, and things like that. So it's not just the price that we can negotiate for a home. What are some other things? Throw them in the chat or just unmute yourself and pop in. What are other parts of the negotiations besides price?
Appliances.
Yeah, good, perfect. What will stay with the home? Maybe they were planning on taking the fridge, oven, washer, dryer, and your peeps want them to stay.
Hey, Katie, this is Jeff. Can I interject and
Hi.
ask a question? So I am listing a cabin up in LJ, and
Okay.
the staging is basically the owner's furniture,
Okay.
and it's not written into the listing. But if somebody wants to buy that, how do you work that as a separate sale, or how do you do that?
Yes, so there actually is a separate document, and whether or not it's going to be priced, you can fill out this other document. But I can go over that with you, but they can purchase other items in the house. Typically what I like to do though is get the seller to leave it without having to pay. And that's why you have to fill out this other document to make sure it doesn't mess up the appraisal if it's items of large value, like a pool table, and X, Y, and Z, a generator, things that cost thousands of dollars and can maybe throw off the value. I mean, like, what terms that you would fill out on that offer can be negotiated besides just the money? Perfect. Thank you, Jessie. So you can negotiate the length of time for due diligence, financing and appraisal contingency time periods. Perfect.
The closing date.
Perfect. Closing date. Just because the buyer wants to close by the end of the month doesn't mean that the seller can do that. Zach's sellers have to find a house. They can't close until they know where they're going to go. So closing date can be flexible. What else?
Repairs.
Repairs. Perfect. Maybe in your original offer, you notice that 2 windows are fogged and you ask for them to be repaired or replaced prior to closing. Perfect. Good job, Robert. Thank you.
Things like warranties or termite inspections.
Perfect. Warranties, home warranties. You can ask for the seller to pay for the termite letter. It's $50 if you want the actual letter printed out. Just an FYI, AeroPest will come inspect it for your buyers for free, but they won't print a letter. So I'm going to type AeroPest does free termite inspections for. And they won't print out a letter for you. Typically, the only reason you need a letter is for a VA loan. It requires the letter to be dated within 30 days of closing. The AeroPest will come out for free, do an inspection, and then they will give you pricing for termite bonds if your buyer wants to move forward.
And sometimes you can have them pay for that letter at closing.
Yep,
Get the
that
right
too.
tone.
Perfect.
You sweet talk them.
Yeah, right. And then keep in mind things like earnest money. I've seen a few people try to get by with $500 worth of earnest money. If I were the listing agent, there's no way I would accept that. You know, I would do minimum 1,000 because I've had people walk away from my listings before and my sellers have kept the earnest money. And I want to make sure that the sellers are being compensated for the time that we've had it off of the market. So earnest money amount, the time in which it gets turned in. You're not gonna take a whole week to turn the earnest money in.
Closing costs.
Closing costs, perfect.
Attorney.
Yep, the closing attorney. I very much like for our office to hold the earnest money and for McMahon and me to be my closing attorney. No, those are all great, all perfect. So when you represent the buyer, I just want this to go out there. I've had a couple of buyers who have been like this. I'm sure y'all have seen this too. Remember, whenever you submit an offer, you have the seller has 3 options: accept, counter, reject. If you submit an offer that the seller just automatically accepts, maybe we could have fought a little harder to get a little better terms for our buyer. Typically, they will counter. Even if the price is great, sometimes they'll counter on what other terms we had. Now, they can also straight up reject offer, and they will note who the agent is and who the buyers are. So keep in mind, if you have a buyer that is really trying to get a deal, number one, deals don't really exist in Atlanta anymore. Okay, so you can be happy with something and the numbers can work, and yet our inventory is just very low. You're really not going to see a lot of deals anymore. If your buyer wants to submit an offer that is really low, please keep in mind you don't want the seller to just straight up come and reject their offer. So what I like to do is submit an offer with appropriate terms. You know, I never ask for more than 10 days of due diligence. I usually do 7 and know that I have the inspection lined up for the next day. I'll do an appropriate amount of earnest money. I do appropriate financing dates. So like 15 or 21 for financing and appraisal, depending on what the lender says. I try to make the money as low as I can go with still eliciting a counter offer. I don't want it to be rejected, and yet I also want to get a great price for my buyers. So my other suggestion would be to let the listing agent know if anything is flexible in your offer in the body of your email whenever you type it up to send the offer over. Things like closing date. If your buyers are like, look, we don't care, you know, our lease is through July, we can close beginning of July, mid-July, you know, anytime before like the 20th, let the agent know that. It helps you look like you're willing to come to a win-win solution. And whenever I use the term win-win solution, it kind of lets the agent know, hey, I want you to be happy. I want my peeps to be happy. I want to shake hands outside of COVID at the closing table and everyone walk away with smiles. I've had so many great closings where people exchange phone numbers. I don't know that they go out to eat necessarily, but at least it's amicable and really fun, right? I've also had closings where it's like the worst hour of my life and it's really uncomfortable. So the negotiations is not just to keep the peace between the parties. It's also to just make a smooth transaction, make everyone happy so that it does get to the closing table. And contrary, if you're on the list side, remember, you don't have to accept things and you don't have to counter. You can just stand firm. If the buyers submit an offer, you submit a counter, the buyers want to counter, remember, you don't have to do that. Now, if you haven't had a single showing in like 30 days and you're way overpriced, you really need to start to come down to reality and maybe counter once again. But just reminder, you can stand firm. You do not have to accept. You don't have to continue to counter. You can say, thank you so much for your counter. At this point, we're going to stand firm with what we countered for you. And sometimes it's just kind of playing chicken and the buyers will probably be like, Okay, great. We'll just accept that then. But they wanted to try one more time to get a little bit better of a deal for themselves. Any questions on offer negotiations? Any experiences y'all have had that you want to share with us? We'll move on to the next phase, which is the due diligence period.
Katie, I had a question.
Who's that?
Jesse.
Hi.
I had an unrepresented buyer come and look at my mom's house, and they verbally or texted me an offer.
Okay.
So in that case, would you just, you know, there's no time date, like no expiration on it, you know?
Sure.
And so would you counter with that, or would you, I don't know, it was kind of low. So they're not, you know, they don't want to take anything right now. It's only been on the market a week. Would you wait a little bit and just tell them like, we're just going to wait?
Can I be honest with you? If you've been on the market for a week and that's the only offer that you've gotten, I would probably try to work with it.
Okay.
And I know that it's in Macon, so it's not necessarily like the Atlanta area. Regardless, if it's priced properly, it should elicit, you know, unless it's in some really unique kind of price point, or it's a weird house, which we know that your parents' house is great. I would maybe try to work with them. The thing is though, that you cannot represent that buyer, of course. And I know that you know this, but for everyone else on the call, if you're representing the seller and an unrepresented buyer comes in, the seller is your client, the buyer can be your customer, and you're more than welcome to do both sides, right? You can only help the seller with the negotiations. You're basically just being a go-between to the buyer. So you can't help them negotiate. You can answer most questions that they would probably have. I just experienced this with one of my January or February closings. I had the seller, the buyer came unrepresented. I offered to refer them to a great agent. He actually was hopeful that he could get a little bit lower commission paid by me and therefore get a little bit better of a deal on a house. I cut it from 6 to 4%. I still needed to cover the FMLS fees and whatever I was going to be paying on the other side. So I didn't cut it down to 3%. So Jesse, you may want to consider referring them to an agent there, and you can get 25% of that for a referral fee. Or you can, you know, always have your parents pay you less. So.
Okay.
Perfect. Good. Okay. So due diligence period. I know that a lot of y'all have buyers right now, which I think is amazing. Buyers are a whole lot more time heavy and not cost heavy, which is great for newer agents. So whenever you have that inspection done, my first suggestion is going to be, when you get the inspection report, call the buyer. Make sure that they receive the report as well. Schedule a day and a time for like the next 24 hours, either later that day or the next morning, sometime soon, for y'all to go over it together. And ask that buyer to read over it first. If there's any other decision makers, a lot of first-time home buyers in their 20s and 30s love to get their parents involved. Proceed with caution. And yet, you know, maybe their parents have experience with this stuff and can offer a helping hand or can help calm them down if they start to get flustered about an intense inspection report. You go over it as well. Read through it every single bit so that you're knowledgeable. Make notes of, okay, this definitely is going to be a deal breaker. Whether or not the buyer says it is, if it's going to be a big deal, the buyer may not know that it's a deal breaker. So you're there to educate them. Whenever you go over it together, my suggestion would not be to read line by line by line through the 30, 40, 50 pages of inspection report that you have. Was it Stephanie Rogers? Are you on this call? I think one of her buyers, there was like a 200-page inspection report because the photos were so large and it was intense. It took a little while to read through. And so what I would suggest is ask them up front, hey, so what items in here did you see that are of biggest concern for you? Write those down, see if it lines up with what you found. If they start to say some items that are let's call them bumps and bruises. Let's call bumps and bruises, and let's call them broken bones. Broken bones are what we focus on. If it's not new construction, it's not going to be a perfect house. Welcome to home ownership, okay? And so we're gonna focus on the broken bones, not the bumps and bruises. If they start to pick up those smaller items, that's okay, allow them to voice those. Let's move on and go through the larger items first. And you can use that expression. We need to focus on broken bones, not bumps and bruises. Again, if we start to ask for too many things, the seller can straight up come and say, no, take a walk. Maybe they have a backup offer waiting. Like I'm sure Zach took a backup offer on his listing. Okay, it's always smart to do that if you have multiple offers. You, again, this is another round of negotiations. It requires some finesse. It requires really good rapport between the agents. You don't want to write down items 1 through 100 on the inspection report, because if I were the listing agent and I saw everything single item on the inspection report were on that, I would kind of get ready to dismiss you myself. And if the seller said it, I'd be like, okay, prioritize. So one thing I ask for the buyer's agent to do is send it in priority order, so that we know which ones we want to focus on. And then if you're on the buyer side, remember you may need to get a second look. Maybe the roof's in condition. We need to get a roofer in to see truly how much life is left on that roof. How much is it to replace? And that needs to be an expense the buyers are aware, hey, in the next 5 years, you may have a $5,000 roof coming in, $10,000 roof coming in. You're gonna need to get estimates if you would like to ask for more closing costs in lieu of the seller doing the repairs prior to close. One thing I like to do is I call the listing agent after the inspection to say, hey, you know, it was actually pretty great. We do have some electrical concerns. Let me ask you, would it be more advantageous to the seller to have them do the repairs themselves? Maybe they know a great electrician, or is this something that we can ask for additional closing costs and the buyer can do after closing? Keep in mind, if you've already maxed out your closing costs with what you asked for in the offer, you can't ask for any more. Typically, the buyer can only have 3% of the closing of the purchase price in closing costs paid for by the seller. So if you're buying a $200,000 home, you can only get $6,000 in closing costs. Typically, almost always. If I'm the seller's agent, I'm going to check in with them the evening of or the morning after the inspection, kind of ask how it was, start to get a temperature check on what are the major items. So your major systems, your plumbing, your electrical, your roof, your HVAC, your furnace, your water heater, the things that cost 4 digits, you know, to fix. I'm going to start to kind of share that with the seller so that we can prep for what our round of negotiations look like. Do we need to get estimates done because we have a good handyman? He's great. He'll do it for pretty cheap because he owes us one. So we would rather have the repairs done prior to close. If I am a buyer's agent, I would actually prefer for the buyer to be able to choose the contractor. That's just me. I don't necessarily want to trust that the seller and their agent is going to pick a quality person. I would rather have the closing costs for my buyers to get it done. But if we've already maxed it out, then we might have to ask for those repairs to be done prior to close. Perfect. Yes, Trina. So home warranty for the appliances. Sometimes I ask for the home warranty in the original offer. Sometimes I ask for that on the amendment to address concerns. We have several in our office. So whenever you come into the office and you turn left past Javon into the mailroom, you'll see this like spinning black wire holder of papers, and the home warranty info is in there. So 210 is one of our preferred vendors. America's Preferred Residential Inspector of America has a good home warranty. If you use them for the inspection, they give you an 18-month home warranty instead of a 12-month for the same price. I share that with my buyers whenever we're choosing the inspector. Typically, they like to go for that because, hey, 6 more months of coverage, great. Now, the home warranty, I want you all to make sure that you're asking your buyer that they understand the home warranty is anywhere from $450 to $800 typically, depending on the size of the home and if you have any add-ons. And that is going to cover most major repairs and replacements. Now, there's a service call fee. It's either 75 or $100, depending on which company you go with. Sometimes you can buy it down from 100 to 75. Every time the buyer has them come out to fix something, it's 75 or $100. So it's not free. It's not free repairs. And yet, if my water heater goes out, that's $1,000 fix. So I'd much rather spend 75 bucks. The wording that I would do, all parties agree that the seller will pay 600 towards a home. Yes, that's okay. This is how I phrase it. Seller will provide at closing a home warranty, a 1 year, unless I'm doing the RIA, the residential inspector 18-month one, I'll put that in there. Seller will provide at closing a 1 year home warranty not to exceed however many $100 to be ordered by selling. We'll provide at closing a 1 year home warranty not to exceed blah. Yes, and when you come into the office and go to the mailroom, you can see the pricing for all of them. I might have one here because I just filled this one out for my peeps. We're doing, who is this? America's Preferred Home Warranty. The back page, you see all the information here. And then I filled out all of his information on the back, ripped it off, scanned it, sent it to the closing attorney. He got $600 of a home warranty. So we did the single family home 1 year, $50 deductible is $460. And then I added on the upgrade to then that would do the appliances as well. That was $140. So it added up to 600. You can add on extra roof coverage. You can add on whatever you want. What I would recommend is whenever we have team meetings, we'll have a vendor speak at the beginning of team meeting. A lot of times it's Shelly with 210 or Rhonda with America's First American, whoever Rhonda's with. I would get their information and you can always give them a call and ask them, hey, if I wanted X, Y, and Z coverage, how much would that be? I did want to focus really quickly on how to do a buyer auto search for y'all. So I'm going to share my screen again and I want to, okay, can you see the screen? I want to find FMLS. Y'all see the FMLS on my screen? Okay, perfect. So let's say that I have a buyer who is looking in Decatur for a single family home, so residential detached. I want to look at what's coming soon as well as what's active. Maybe they can go up to 350. Yeah. Let's see if I can just look at what's 360 and below. I'll typically look a little bit higher. So if they can go up to 350, I'll look a little higher. You can put 0 dash whatever the max is, or I like to do the max and then a minus so I can see everything lower. Let's say they have to have 4 or more bedrooms and they have to have 3 or more full baths. Then I'll go to the map and I'll zoom in to whatever area they're most interested in Decatur. And I'll use the polygon tool and kind of map that out. Maybe they want to focus on, there's nothing 4 bedrooms or more for that price point. So maybe they want 3 bedrooms and 2 baths. Is that better? Go internet. Okay. It's a little better. Okay, so we're gonna look down here in this area. It's kind of expensive here, dang. So I'll map out with the polygon tool. You know, maybe they want all around East Lake. Boom. At the bottom, where you have save, you can do new auto email. So a new save search will allow you to look at this again without having to type everything in, map it out. It'll save it. And then you can go up here to My Matrix Save Searches. However, if you want this to get auto emailed to your buyers, go to Save, New Auto Email. Create a contact. Maybe it's Homes for Katie. This sets them up on the client portal. And then I want them to get the email. They just want it twice a week. I'll send it to them Mondays and Fridays in the evening. Maybe we need to see things the second they come on the market because it's at such a low price point that things just fly off within hours. Zach was like 14 hours or something listed on the market. So maybe they're not buying for several months and they just want to get it monthly. Typically though, if they're like right now ready to go kind of any week or any like time in the next few weeks, I'll just every single day, if something popped up, they get an email to them. So I would very much suggest y'all put your peeps on this. It's a great touch because it's coming directly from you. Even though it's coming from the FMLS and it's doing it automatically, it says that it's coming from Katie. So there you go. I apologize that the other Zoom call had run over and we started a little late, but that was pretty much what I wanted to hit for y'all. I think everyone on this call has been amazing about setting up their June one-on-ones, but if y'all magically, exactly. It really is very nice that it happens like that because then you don't have to think about it and they think you are sending it to them every day at 6 p.m. If y'all have not scheduled your June one-on-one, please, please, please respond to the email I sent out this morning. And I appreciate y'all being on our call. We'll see you. The open house class will be really great on Wednesday. And if not, I will see y'all whatever topic you choose for the next Monday.
Thanks, Katie.
Welcome, Vicki. Love y'all. Have a great day.
Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thanks. You're so welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all. Kenneth, drive safely.
I'm sorry?
I said drive safely.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye. There's Jamie and Tiffany and Jessica. Yes, and Beth. Hi. Hi, all my Group B peeps. How are y'all?
Great.
You can stay unmuted, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
Angeline. Oh, look at my Group B babies. I love y'all so much.
We love you. You're so wonderful.
Oh, I just appreciate you so much. Hi, Tiffany. How are you? Ooh, I like that office decor situation you have going on.
Mm-hmm.
Is this at your house?
Yes, I added
Ooh.
to make it more.
I love it. Hey, I'm trying to turn my volume up on my computer. It's really low, so I'm having a little bit of a hard time hearing y'all. So if you wouldn't mind, if it's not disruptive to anyone else that you're around, if you will speak up. Okay, so Group B, did any of y'all have more closings that bumped you up to Group C in the last couple of weeks? So that would be 5 closings or more. Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure. With over 100 of y'all, it gets, I try to keep track of them as best as I can. So perfect. So what went well over the weekend? Beth, how's that listing?
It's sold. I mean, well, it's under contract. Under contract, not sold, but under contract. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so what did you have it listed as?
245. Okay. What do you mean? Yeah.
Sorry, at 245.
Yeah, 245. Yeah. And
okay.
So they countered. And anyway, it ended up 245, and my sellers are paying $3,000 for closing. Talked to the inspector this morning. He said, I've never seen, he said they have taken such great care of this house. It doesn't look like there's going to be much to do during due diligence. So yeah, so I'm excited. Yeah.
So you're
And we
telling
close
me
tomorrow.
that you're under contract for full price. You do have some closing costs there. Inspection went well.
So 8 days. Yeah. Yay.
It's amazing.
And,
okay,
and
so
we
when
had
are you
that
set to
glitch.
close?
Yeah.
Did you say?
Pardon? We had that little glitch, with the showing time for 2 days. So yeah, so I feel good about that. Yeah, we close July 10th.
That's amazing.
We close tomorrow on their new house. So.
Okay, so they're buying, moving out, and then the other one will sell. That's amazing. I'm very proud of you. That's great. Any great news from our other peeps? How's Legion going? I think Angeline, the last time we talked, you had picked up a couple peeps. I can't remember. Hold on, I'm going to.
Hey.
Hi.
Sorry, I just unmuted myself.
No, you're good.
So what were you saying? I'm sorry.
Jessica, I'm kicking you out. I'm sorry. I don't know if you're still on this. Okay, bye. I'm kicking out my sweet peeps from the that were on the first one. Bye, Tamika. I love you so much. And yet, goodbye. I feel so bad. Okay. Hey, Group B. Okay, so what were you saying, Angeline?
Oh, I thought I heard my name, so I thought you were asking me a question.
Yeah. How I think the last time you and I spoke, I just picked up some more clients.
So I picked up a buyer, went on a listing appointment Friday.
The one in Woodstock.
Yes.
Okay.
The one in
Tell me how that went.
Woodstock, and they want to list higher.
We knew that was going to happen.
Yeah. So we're still kind of going back and forth, and then Wednesday I've got another listing appointment and a buyer's appointment. So
that's amazing. That's awesome.
Trying to make things shake.
What'd you say?
I said just trying to make things shake.
Yeah, man. I love it. I think that's you're not trying, you're succeeding. I think Tiffany Keys, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. Let's see what's new with me. I have a potential buyer. I'm getting pre-approved.
Nice.
Hopefully this week. So I will have a buyer. So I'll have to get out into the streets again.
Yes. I love it.
I haven't been out.
How where are they looking?
I don't know any of that information yet. They were like,
oh,
we need a lender. I was like, all right, well, here's my potential lender. So I sent that over. I'm scheduling a call with them for tomorrow.
Yes.
So I can
nice.
Get all
good. Jamie, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Hi, good, thanks. What's going on with business?
So I sent out, I did the handwritten notes. I sent out about 50.
Nice.
I'm going to send out a few more. So I don't have any appointments scheduled right now, but hopefully I'm hoping to try, get something out of that.
Perfect.
I recorded
Who were you targeting with those? Who were you targeting with those?
There's a townhome community nearby my house in Decatur. So I literally sent it to probably every townhome there.
That's right. Okay.
I sent one to a for sale by owner too, just following up. I think we talked about that last week or the week before. So I sent one to a for sale by owner, and then I'm going to probably look at another community over here because I thought it would be, I live over here, so I know this area. So I'm going to send a few more out. I recorded my first video yesterday, finally. So I got a logo going. That's
okay. So working on branding, I love that.
Yeah, some marketing stuff. Yep. So hopefully that'll kickstart, some more business too.
Perfect. Good job, Jessica, Tiffany, Ashley. Any other? Sorry, not Tiffany Keys. We have two Tiffany K's. One is a Y, one's an EY. So Jessica, an EY, and Ashley. How's everything going with y'all?
Everything is good with me. One of my buyers just got approved yesterday, so she's getting ready to start. And then I have a listing coming up. She's just still kind of trying to weigh out if she's ready to list it. She's not in a hurry. She kind of wants to wait a little bit more, I guess, with coronavirus. But I'm going to talk to her this week and see if we can get something going, before the end of June.
Sure. That's awesome. Very okay. And then any word on the one that you are wanting to buy?
No, not yet.
Okay. Stand by.
Yeah.
Wow, very excited to hear about that. Tiffany EY, how are you?
I am doing good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Any fun stuff to report for business?
Well, I do have a seller now. She actually has a tenant and she was trying to sell to the tenant, but she was dragging her feet. So she's just ready to sell now.
Yeah. Is she going to sell it with the tenant in it still or wait till the tenant gets out?
That is her plan.
With which
So
one?
I may need to sell with the tenant in there. So I may need to speak to somebody about that because I've never had that situation before.
Sure. We can chat about that. I've done that a lot where people have purchased an investment property with tenants already in there. I'll be doing that myself this fall as well. Actually, where is it located?
It's in Lithonia.
What's the price point going to be?
We're going back and forth on that. She wants to list high, and everything over there is selling right now selling and listing anywhere from 40 to 65,000. Yep.
65,000, like five digits.
No, 40,000 to 65,000.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, it might sell for $65,000.
Yeah.
Okay, let me know when you get this listing because I may just go buy it before you even list it. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you let me know. So, awesome. Anything going on with business? Okay, we'll come back to you. Okay, awesome. So thank you, ladies. I love this group. Okay, the topics for next Monday, because we'll be in the topics, right? From 12 to 1 p.m. will be buyer's consult. So before, during, and after, that's probably going to be a little bit, y'all are probably a little bit past that point. The 1 to 2 p.m. topic is going to be social media marketing. That might be one that you want to check out. And then the 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock class is circle prospecting. So around listings, around your open houses, things like that. We'll talk about door knocking, cold calls, and things like that. So those are the 3 topics. I would assume that the second 2 are probably of more interest to y'all. What topics do you want to see for July? Because I want to make sure that these are ones that y'all are interested in, coming to, etc. So I have financials and loans, and I want to get the Supreme peeps to come in and kind of talk about, as COVID is ending, where are the standards for your FHA conventional and VA loans, what the differences between those are, who's eligible, etc., as well as what it looks like if you're the listing agent accepting an offer with those loans. I have for sale by owners and expireds. And so you have a listing. Now what? So the things to do before and right when you list a property. And so that's that. I'll also have Amanda Churchwell come on that call so she can talk to us about their company, Churchwell Group, and what they do to help us with our listings. I will always pay $55 to get that stuff live. Mama doesn't put stuff in the FMLS, GAMLS, and KWLS anymore, right? So like Tiffany's like, yes, leverage out, life worth living. And then I have listing appointments. So like, we already talked about CMAs a little bit. Let's talk about your pre-list kit, what to do at the listing appointment, your follow-up after if they don't sign right away with you, etc. So we have room for 2 more classes because the Mondays are July 6th and 20th. So what else would interest y'all?
Katie, Jessica said something on appraisals and inspections.
Oh, I like that.
Mm-hmm. That is good. Get me to monitor your window, your chat window.
Oh, wait, stand by. Oh, thank you. Okay, sorry. Appreciate you. It was hidden by my Word text box. Yes, okay, I really like appraisals because we have a lady in our office that is actually an appraiser. So I might be able to get her to come do it. And then I do really like inspections. And I know for a fact that Jason with Trademark will will come in and basically go over like the deal killers and how to navigate through and what to really be on the lookout for. I love those ideas. Thank you. Any others? Cool. Well, that gives me 6, so I'm pretty.
I love the listing idea because I just want to know, you know, because I don't feel like
yeah.
that we know everything in between. So I think that's great.
Well, and I really want to have at least one command class every month. And in command, they have the pre-list kit and the listing presentation templates in designs. And so they talk about that in bold a little bit. If I'm honest with you, I do a weirdo in and out high D list presentation. I do send a pre-list kit. I don't bring a formal presentation with me. I'm like, comps. We listed this. Here, sign this, press hard, 3 copies. However, I want to give y'all as many different tools as possible so that if you don't go the Katie route, you can go whatever route works for you. No, I love those classes. Thank y'all. Good ideas. Next, no training this Saturday. We will, I think, have it the next Saturday. We're actually in the process of hiring someone to do every Saturday. So stand by on that. A couple classes this week that are going to be really great to attend. DocuSign and Command, like how you get paid in Command. Those were last week. They'll also have them tomorrow at 11 a.m. and noon. There's an open house class with Rashonda Coleman, who is amazing. She was in my bold team this past January, February bold, and she has so much business and gets traffic I've unheard of, dozens and dozens of people to her open houses. So she'll talk about what she does for that. That's Wednesday from 12:30 to 1:30. Supreme Credit Essentials is every Friday at 1. And we're probably having a virtual Ignite coming mid-July. Stand by. I don't think any of y'all need it, but if you know someone who needs it, if you know someone that's looking to join the office soon, we will likely have a virtual Ignite mid-July. Maybe you need to make up a class. I don't know. And then last but not least, Bold Pivot. And I will give you that. I'm going to give you the link to that. Bold Pivot is coming back. It's $99, just like it was in May. And it's July 14th through August 6th. So it's Tuesdays and Thursdays for 4 weeks, 2 hours a day. I put the link in there. Okay, Ashley, maybe a how-to class on market trends, what resources we can monitor. Oh, okay. She says, sorry, crying baby in the background. No worries, we appreciate you. Muting and typing, that's lovely, thank you. Take care, baby. Yes, okay, so I like basically stats. Is that kind of what we're talking about, market stats? We have them quarterly in our office and team meetings. I'm wondering when we're going to do the next one because we're at the end of second quarter, which I can't believe. And so we're probably going to have an office market stats that will go over all of Q2 and what we anticipate for Q3 sometime in July. So I will check on that if that's an office wide one. Lovely. Questions? Perfect. Okay, so next, I want us to check out very quickly Bold Laws, because I'm obsessed with them. Is my screen share working? So on the right-hand side, I've blown it up as big as I can make it. The Bold Laws, let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger. It's a little bit bigger. Do you all remember which one you picked last week or 2 weeks ago? And then which one are you going to focus on for this next 2? I'm going to just go through those really quickly because I'm obsessed with them. Literally the background of my phone. Who's trying to share?
I always love No Pressure, No Diamonds.
Yes, tell me more.
I don't know. I guess it's like, you know, everything feels uncomfortable when you're doing it, but you have to have that in order to grow and in order to see, you know, the benefits. So you have to go through that pressure in order to see what you want to, you know, fruitation.
Yes, I love that. Thank you. I think y'all have probably heard me use the expression blessed to be stressed. In real estate, if you're not busy and you're not a little stressed out, are you even doing deals? You know, I have 7 closings this month. 3 have happened. I'm waiting for 4. 3 are this week. We have a situation with one of them that's supposed to close tomorrow. They're not out yet, and it's junky. And yeah, no pressure, no diamonds. Now, that being said, when I'm working really hard for my peeps and they see that and I'm communicative about what I'm doing, even when we have a hurdle, I like to share the hurdle with them. And I always have to say, okay, look, here's what we've run into. This is the situation. This is what I'm going to do to overcome it. And I'm going to let you know the second I have any more information on that. They're so appreciative. And then that's when they, speaking of, the listing agent's on the way over there right now because I sent him a picture of what the garage looks like. And so they're going to be so appreciative of how hard I'm working. You bet your tuchus that I'm going to be their agent for life. And they're going to give me all their friend referrals. This client's actually a referral from a friend who purchased in February. So blessed to be stressed. No pressure, no diamonds, no 7 deals worth of craziness, no $30,000 GCI for June. So I accept. In July, I'm going to feel real good going on vacation. Was part of that 30K, right? So anyone else want to share? One more.
I really like success is simple, not easy.
Okay, tell me more.
Because my experience with real estate, it's a very, easy job.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's very tedious and has a lot of work that goes into it. So that kind of just summarizes. I know I had someone ask me about, oh, do you like real estate? And I'm like, yeah, I love it. And they're like, oh, it's easy, right? And I'm like, not really, generally, no. But
right.
It is fun.
Right.
It's simple, but not easy. So that's my favorite one.
At least it's something different every day. Like you and Jessica are teachers. I used to be a teacher. I did 4 different classes, so it was a little different from day to day. It was just that same show up at 7:30, stay there till 3, out in a classroom every day. At least now it's like, kind of different here and there, which my personality needs, my ADHD situation requires change and whatnot. But yeah, real estate is very much, it's monotonous boredom. Success in real estate requires you to be really good at doing the same boring thing every day. And then there's going to be some differences outside of your lead gen, but if you're not doing that same consistent lead gen and okay with the boredom that comes with the same consistent lead gen every day, you're not going to have as big of a business as you can grow. So yeah, it's very simple to do this, do this, do this. But it's not easy to always make sure that we're keeping ourselves accountable to that. So I love that. Thank you for sharing, Tiffany, with just a why. Okay, lovely. I'm going to stop sharing. Thanks. Did all of y'all pick one for this coming week? You can literally just Google bold laws, by the way. I will, I'll put the Google search in your chat so that y'all can click on it to go see all the bold laws. I love them. I love the bold laws. Remember, bold pivot July 14th through August 6th. So I want to talk about negotiations today because I think all of y'all have done enough deals to understand, the negotiations that come with an offer. Obviously, we don't just negotiate price. There's the other terms that can be negotiated as well. So what else besides the money portion of things have y'all had negotiated before in your deals, whether you've been the seller or the buyer?
Repairs.
Repairs, perfect. What else?
Insurance, I'm sorry, the insurance. What did I just...
Wait, what do you mean by that?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm thinking, what am I thinking? I just lost my train of thought. Or termite letter. I mean,
okay,
pest
there you
control.
go. Okay, termite letter. Angeline says no appraisal, no inspection. Jessica Romanesco says closing costs. Perfect. So remember, yeah, net is typically going to be what's most important to the seller. When you represent the buyer, you always want to start off that rapport with the seller's agent by saying, hey, besides money, what's going to be most important to your seller? Sometimes it's a fast closing. We have an agent in our group, Zach Rowe, who got 20 something offers on his listing. His people haven't found the one that they're buying yet. So not only was the most money important because they need that for their down payment on their next home, but they needed a fairly flexible closing date. So the buyers that they picked, there's no appraisal, which is amazing. So Angeline mentioned that. And it's cash, which is awesome because now they can close basically as fast as they need to whenever they find the next house. And I don't think that they're renting something. So if we need to extend closing a little bit or move it up, they're flexible about that. Jessica says days for due diligence. Perfect. I will never accept more than 10 unless there's a very valid reason why a buyer needs to do 10 days of due diligence on my listing. Typically, I like to be competitive and just throw out 7. I don't know the last time I've requested 10. A home warranty. Perfect. That's awesome. Yeah, you guys hit it on the head. So I want you to remember, whether you're the buyer or the seller, if someone counters you, you do not have to accept it. You don't have to counter back. You can stand firm at what you had just said. Sometimes it's all about playing chicken, and I'm real good at doing that. So I represented a seller. We went under contract last week, and we were listed at $775. It had sat for a couple weeks. Luxury market's kind of taken a hit during COVID, and they submitted an offer for $750, and that was not going to get our seller to the net that they needed. And I'm learning my lesson. It's an expired. That's how I picked it up. They don't have to sell. They want to sell. Let me tell you what, I have learned my lesson. Find motivated sellers. Find someone that is time bound. It will be way easier for your life. So they said $750. We said, look, we're going to give you our best. This is our best and final counter. Okay, I'm going to give it to you one time. Here you go. We said $765 with 5 in closing. They originally said $750 with $7,500 in closing. So $765, 5 in closing. They came back and asked us for something else. I said, what part of highest and best did we not hear the first time? I said it more politely than that, but in my mind, I got a little sassy. I said, okay, I can appreciate that you're trying. You're obviously doing a great job representing your buyers. And yet, nope, skirt. And they said, okay, we accept. And I was like, that's what I thought. So sometimes it is just that game of chicken. So know that you don't have to recounter. What's the next round of negotiations after the offer?
The due diligence, the concerns.
Perfect. Due diligence and amendment to address concerns. So perfect. What I was telling Group A is, and I'm sure y'all know this, what I was telling Group A is whenever you get the inspection report, obviously you want to schedule the inspection for day 1 if you can of due diligence, max day 2. If you're gonna go under contract on a Friday and you don't already have the inspection lined up for Saturday, Monday's already day 3. So that's pushing it if we only have 7 days. Be knowledgeable about when we may be going binding. Sorry, I had a silence call. It's that house that's in shambles right now that's supposed to close in less than 24 hours. Okay, so get the inspection report back. Make sure that the buyer has also gotten the inspection report back. Schedule a time in the next, several hours, later that day, the next morning, to go over it with them and make sure that they have the opportunity to read it through it first, and then you need to read through it first. So take some time, go through each page, find out what are the must-haves and the deal breakers, and what are the nice to have fixed and replaced. I like to put a category of big ticket items, medium ticket items, and then I leave the tiny items blank. The buyer, of course, may throw in a whole bunch of the tiny items. And I'm like, look, my job is to keep this transaction going to closing. If we ask for too much ahead of time, understand the seller has the ability to straight up reject what we ask for and say, take it or leave it. If they have a strong backup offer right behind us, they may wind up doing that. So you do have to have some more finesse when you do this due diligence period with your inspection repairs. So if you need to start lining up estimates for what you're going to ask for it in lieu of repairs doing closing costs, if you need to have a specialist come in, maybe there's water getting into the basement, what are we going to do about that, etc. So start lining those things up ASAP. Questions, experiences that y'all have had that have been crazy that we need to talk through?
I do have a question, because this last one, when we were addressing the amendment to address concerns, we had they started like they were getting in their own people to do their, they ended up having a plumber come in and fix something. They had a roofer come in and go ahead and fix the roof problems. Is that, I thought—
You represent the seller?
I represent I'm representing the buyer. And so the sellers were doing that. And I was like, so I asked the agent if that's what she normally does. And that's what she does, is that she tries. Yeah. So I was wondering, what do you normally do on that? Because I thought the buyers actually tried to get those things done.
So depending on what the work is, a lot of times I will prefer for the buyer to get closing costs, and then they can choose the vendor to do it themselves after closing. Because in my first year, I had sellers, the buyer was an agent herself, and she was using every loophole and rule in the book what she wanted. And she was within the legal abilities, and yet I'm not going to say it was taking advantage. It was just intense. I've never had that happen before. And so the sellers really started to kind of really not like her. And when we fixed some wood rot prior to close, it wasn't done all that well, if I'm honest with you. And I think another seller that would be living in what's the word I'm looking for? Living in, what's the nice word that we try to use? Stand by. Integrity. Living in integrity, then that seller would have probably had it fixed properly. They didn't care. They said, nope, it's repaired. She asked for it to be repaired. It just wasn't repaired well. And I never want that to happen. So I really like for my buyer to get our contractor in. The issue becomes, if I've already maxed out the closing costs in original offer, I can't ask for any more. And then you would have to get the seller to do the repairs prior to close, and it needs to be very careful how it's worded, make sure that the closing attorney and the lender are both okay with this. I just had one close last week that is in rough condition. I can't believe the woman was living there like that. My client bought it as an investment property. There's about $13,000 worth of work that needs to happen on this 800 square foot home. So we actually negotiated for the seller to pay at closing an invoice of $10,000 for a contractor to come in and redo HVAC, redo a subfloor, redo some electrical stuff, blah, blah, blah. What that looks like is getting an invoice for the work from the company. And I sent him the inspection report. I noted exactly what we wanted done on there. He gave me something. I said, actually, can you do this and not this, blah, blah, blah. And he gave us an invoice that was at least $10,000. And at closing, the closing attorney cut a check from the seller proceeds for $10K, and the buyer walked away with it so that she could use it as her down payment on the repair. So they're meeting up, I think, right now at the house to go over that. So you can do that. However, it needs to be worded in a way that the closing attorney and the lender are both happy with it. So I just want to preface that, but you can do that as well, is have the seller pay invoices at closing. I've done that with radon, termite stuff before. If I'm the listing agent, I really do like to kind of check in, not too soon after the inspection, but maybe later that day, the next morning, to say, hey, how did it go? And just kind of start to get an idea, temperature check on the big ticket items so that I can start to kind of tell the seller, look, roof shot, doesn't have any active leaks, and yet the shingles are completely curled on the end, this, that, and the other. The boot may have a leak the next rain, whatever, there's hail damage, things like that. I start to kind of give the seller an idea and get a temperature check from them on what they would be willing to do. So any due diligence questions, comments, emotional outbursts? Perfect. So what is the third time that you may not, mostly don't, have a round of negotiations?
I think if it's as is, maybe.
So if it's as is, it's probably in the inspection period where you're trying to get them to do some fixes, even though they said it was as is, but it comes after the due diligence period.
The finance, whenever the appraisal doesn't come in.
Appraisal, yes. If the appraisal does not come in at list price or higher, then you have a third round of negotiations. So I've had this happen twice for 2 buyers. Whenever the appraisal doesn't come in at that number, what are the 3 ways to overcome that? Do y'all know?
The seller can reduce the price.
Perfect. Seller can reduce the price from wherever it was to what the appraised price is. Keep in mind, their net's still important, so they may not be offering closing costs anymore if they already agreed. That's happened to me. What's another way?
They can actually, the buyer can pay the additional amount.
Perfect. If I were the buyer, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. However, in 2018, when the Beltline was super hot and stuff was going for like 10K over appraised value, people were just throwing 10 grand out to get places because they wanted that place. If you don't have an intention on selling something for a while and you know, you're not going to turn around and need some equity in it, I mean, I get it, and yet let's not. What's the third way to overcome that? Hint. You've kind of already said it. It's a combination of the other 2. You can have, if the buyers are like, look, we'll come another grand or 2 up, the seller, you know, you can meet somewhere in the middle, but those are really the 2 common ways. So great job. Perfect. So I do want to go over some lead gen stuff. Open houses. I think that's like one of the main sources of lead gen that our peeps are doing right now. Do y'all know how to find Rawls Group's listings so that you can figure out how to do an open house yourself and go after really good locations and price points? Because if not, I'm happy to share.
I don't. Usually I'll go in our intranet and send out like an announcement.
Yeah.
But if there's a way we can search so we can see and pick, that'll be cool too.
Okay, I'm gonna do a screen share real quick so that y'all can, where are we? Perfect. Okay, can you see FMLS? Okay, so I asked Lexi to email me earlier. You might see my email, so give me 1 second. I'm gonna put these things in the chat. The Rawls Group, we can hold open houses for any of the Rawls Group offices. So I'm going to put in the chat the FMLS code. So ours is KWPR01. First Atlanta is Sandy Springs, it's FA. Atlanta North is East Cobb, so it's EC. Dunwoody is Atlanta Perimeter, Buckhead, Peachtree Road, and then Cityside is Smyrna Vining, so SV. So that's what those codes are that I put in the text box. So first thing that I want you all to do is whenever you have FMLS open, scroll in the search, scroll down to the bottom and look and see if you have this field, list office code down here. You originally do not. If you've added it already, you'll see it because it will stay there forever. What you may need to do is go to add remove field. And then you'll see, you know, all the ones that you can add. You can see the ones that I've already added. Scroll down. It's going to be list office code. Find it, highlight it over in this box, and then click add so that it shows up on the right. I don't know if you guys are following along, so I don't want to go too fast. So tell me if you need me to hold off. Are you all good? Okay. So once it's here in your selected fields, go back, scroll down, boom, there she is. So what I want to do is enter in KWPR01, KWFA01, KWEC01, KWAP, KWBA, and KW. Okay, perfect. So I put all 6 of them in there with a comma. Personally, I'm an open house snob. I don't care if people call me that. It's fine. Brandon DeSenza and I call ourselves that, and we're more than happy to do that because an open house takes up a lot of my time. I'm going to circle prospect. I'm going to put out balloons and signs, you know, days before. I'm going to go hold it. I'm going to give you feedback. My time is valuable, right? I make like, I don't know, 3 digits an hour if you look at my GCI compared to how much I work. So I want to make sure that I can be snobby about it. So I make sure that I do residential detached. I like single family. I only like to do them on what's active. I'm very particular about my price point because I have held a couple luxury homes open, and that's great. It looks good on my Facebook whenever I do the Facebook Live walkthrough. People are like, oh, wow, is that, they assume it's my listing. That's fine. I'm really just intentional about what traffic I get in. So I like to choose that $300,000 to $500,000 first-time homebuyer kind of price point. Plus, if you have someone that comes into a $400,000 home, they're probably looking at $350,000 to $450,000, you know, priced homes. I want to get my price point higher because then I sell fewer houses to make the same amount of money. And mama likes to be efficient. So $300,000 to $500,000. And then I'll go to map. Perfect. I have a bunch to choose from. If you only put KWPR01 in there, you're not going to find a whole lot because it's just our office, right? So put in all 6. You're allowed to hold open houses for any of the Rawls Group offices. I live here in Tucker, so I prefer to work Brookhaven, Decatur, maybe a little bit out into Tucker. That's just me. If y'all want to keep it close to where you live, do whatever you want. This is your open house. So what I want to do is just look at, come on, these. So I'll kind of map out what I want to do, and then I'll look at the results. Couple things I do here is I want to look at the price point compared to how nice of a house it is. I want to look at which ones have come on the market most recently. If it's been on the market for a while, that's okay. If it's already held like open houses the last 2 weekends, it's probably old news. It may not get great traffic. So I like to be a little picky about how long has it been on the market, and or has it had a price drop, a significant price drop recently, then I'll hold it. So if you click on market twice, you'll see the most recently listed properties. And this guy on Weston Lane hasn't had a price drop yet. So let's see. He's cute. He's in Tucker. I know Tucker. Okay, oh great. This is Karen Armstrong. She's in the office right there. 11 days. I may ask her if I could hold this open. Ooh, yeah, that's cute. That's gonna get people coming in. If she already has a host, maybe I'll go to this next one. This is really close to the office, Park Ridge Crescent. That's cute. It's been well done. It's been listed for 19 days, so we're starting to be a little bit more days on market, but that's okay. One thing I want to do is look on the map. and see what is the street traffic going to be like. Are we near any major intersections? I have held an open house on Park Ridge Crescent before for one of my friends at the office. I don't remember getting amazing traffic, but if I'm honest with you, that listing was not in the best condition. This one is in better condition for the price. So I think that it could be more popular. However, it's really tucked into this neighborhood, right? It's not right off of Claremont. It's not right off of Dresden. I'm gonna have to put so many directionals at the intersections to get back in there. So I don't know that I love it. This first one in Tucker, perfect, is right off of Lawrenceville Highway. So I'm gonna put my open house sign here on Friday afternoon and direct traffic onto Weston. I'm gonna get some good traffic that way. I might do it here as well, pointing this direction. So that one, oh, my house is right here. So that's, maybe I'll go check that out this weekend. So yeah, that's how you can be a little bit of a snob. Once you find one that you might be interested in, see who the listing agent is, give them a call. Their cell phone number's right here. Say, hey Karen, I saw your cute listing on Weston Lane. Wanted to know if you have an open house host for that this weekend. I would love to do it for you. I'll do circle prospecting calls. I'll put signs out if you don't have someone doing signs yet, etc. Another good person to reach out to, Karen's a big time listing agent. So Karen Armstrong is a huge time listing agent. Suits team, more specifically, ask Sarah Panetta. Young team, more specifically, ask Alexis Werner. Who else is doing a whole bunch of listings right now? Tara Winslow has a lot of listings. So know which agents are listing heavy and develop a really good rapport with them so that they want to call on you whenever they have a good listing. I was like that for Suits. I was like, hey, I'll give you feedback right away. I'll circle prospect. I'll get traffic. And I've two of theirs have sold off the open houses I held. So for a while they were coming to me, which is a very good feeling. What questions do y'all have about that? Or comments or emotional concerns?
This is going to be kind of generic, but I mean, but what kind of info do you give them when you do feedback? Because I gave feedback once on someone's and they're like, well, that's not really what I'm looking for. I'm like, okay, so tell me, I know it's. Okay.
So what I do is I'm going to show y'all a Word document. I'm happy to forward this to y'all. I used to do sign-in sheets, and then I decided I didn't want to do sign-in sheets anymore. I wanted to have a feedback form at the end of the open house whenever they left. I wanted to have built up enough rapport, talking to them while they were in the house, asking questions, etc., and then have them fill out a feedback form. So I'm trying to open. Okay, one second. I'm going to share my screen with y'all so you can see it. Happy to send it to you. Share screen. Perfect. Can you see my Word document? Okay. So I do 4 on a page, right? And then I just cut them out. And so it asks a bunch of questions. It asks them to rate the home on price, curb appeal, interior, write comments on it. I also just remember what they say about it, and I'll write it down whenever they leave on their paper. This I really like more than the sign-in sheet. The sign-in sheet to me feels very generic. Every open house they go to, hey, I just want your name, phone number, and email so I can spam you. I'm just not about that life. So I would rather ask them questions like, how does this home compare to what else you've seen on the market? You know how many times people will say, oh, well, we just started looking today. Or, oh, we live next door, blah, blah, blah. We're thinking about redoing our kitchen. We wanted to see what theirs looked like. Sometimes though, the neighbors are coming to check out competition because they're going to be listing their home soon. So you can find that out. But I like to create a rapport with them by asking questions, and then they don't feel as like I'm being as invasive whenever I ask them to fill out the feedback form at the end, whenever they're exiting the open house. And so typically I get accurate name, phone number, emails. And then I also want to know, how'd you hear about the open house? My agent sent it to me, or Zillow, or I was driving by and I saw the balloons and signs. I want to know what area they're looking in, price range. Whenever they leave, after they filled it out, I just put it face down. I thank them. And then I will write as much as I can remember on the back of it so that when I follow up with them, I look like I'm knowledgeable, remembered stuff about them. I write down babies' names if they brought their kiddos, if they were coming from soccer practice or whatever. Right? I mean, like I write down everything just so I can seem more personable. Tiffany, which questions do you like? How does this compare to other homes you've seen? Oh, perfect. Okay, yeah. Oh no, that's perfect. You can find out so much information. Like, oh, well, we really want this neighborhood. So we've seen all the ones, but we don't like them because we need a basement or something. I mean, it tells you everything you need to know. Yes, Jessica, I am happy to share this with all of y'all. I feel like I can attach a file in here. Stand by. We're going to try this out. Not the best with technology. Keller Williams. Open house feedback form. Okay, will someone see if this works? I'm gonna attach it to the chat. Resend. No, network disconnected. Okay, well, I'll just email you. Yes, happy to.
Katie, did you click the little file button next to the?
Yeah, I did, and it said the network is disconnected.
Oh.
So,
okay.
Y'all, wait, who was that? I'm going to email Jessica Romanesco. Who else wants this? Tiffany Keys. Feedback form. Does anyone else want a copy of this while I'm emailing it out?
Tiffany Kelly, too.
Tiffany Kelly, perfect.
Beth Barnes.
Beth, both Tiffany K's. Open house feedback form. Okay, cool. I just sent it to y'all. Oh, Ashley Hinchett, stand by. Okay, awesome. In terms of expireds and for sale by owners, I do want to have a class on that next week so that we can go over some scripts and things like that. Remember, if you have a, you can call for sale by owners for free. If you want to call expireds, I'm more than happy to send you those numbers. Just send me an email with whatever date you're going to be doing them, and I will send those over to you the morning that you're going to be doing it. And the reason that is because then you'll get the most up-to-date version. If you're like, hey, I'm going to call them Saturday, will you send them to me today? You're not going to see any that expired Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And honestly, the ones that expired today may already have met and signed with someone by Saturday. So a little tidbit, I have listed 6 expireds. I think I'm in the process of, like, my 4th one's under contract. The other ones are active. I love calling them. I call them Sunday afternoons for a couple reasons. 1, the other agents aren't doing it because it's a Sunday. 2, the seller is likely not working and they can answer their phone. So I'm a big Sunday afternoon fan. I started doing open houses every other Sunday, and I would do expireds in between. So if you would like those numbers, please let me know. Also, does everyone know how to sign up for Agent on Duty? Because I'm happy to walk y'all through that.
Yes, walk us through it.
Okay, cool. Stand by, I'm going to share my screen again. You see my KW? Okay, so Market Center Intranet right here in the small blue letters. Then you wait. Okay, here we go. Then Market Center in red. We do have scripts, Tiffany Keys. We have FSBO and expired scripts on the list for July for sure. So once you click Market Center, You're going to go to resources and then agent on duty schedule. So my market or market center intranet or whatever, then red market center, and then resources, and then agent on duty. So, oh yes, look at all my sweet babies. Okay, so all of the people who have signed up for this week are our PC agents, which I love. Next week is still available. Anything that's in green, you can sign up for. So if y'all want to go, I mean, go ahead and do it right now. Take them. Because I'm going to tell Group C about this too. So you, outside of COVID, you do have to be here in the market center because you will get walk-ins. I've had 8 pieces of business in the last 2.5 years come from agent on duty. That being said, I've done it almost every single week for 2 times a week. If I'm out of town, I couldn't do it because you do have to be in the market center. Right now during COVID, I think that you do not have to because we're asking y'all to not come in. So you'll get all the phone calls. But you get the phone calls if people email. These are all of the unrepresented clients. So listings and buyers, I've gotten both from agent on duty. So if it's green, you click sign up. And then it'll say this date, 1 to 5, check the box, click confirm. I can't sign up. I wish I could. Oh, I got lots of good leads from this. So yeah, so take those. Here is how this works. It opens every Sunday at noon, and you can see the guidelines are right here. So below the schedule, you can see you could sign up for 2 a week. Green is active, it's available. Gray means it's in the future. So if you click on the next week, it's not open yet. These will open up on Sunday. So on the 14th, you can sign up for the week of the 22nd. On the 21st, you can sign up for the week of the 29th. Does that make sense? You sign up a week in advance, and yeah, seriously, go in and take those because you will get phone calls and you will get business from that. Questions?
Katie, just to confirm, you said as of right now, no one's in the office for the agent on duty?
I do not believe that they're requiring us to be in because they're asking for us to not be here. So,
okay.
So don't think that they are, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't think that you have to be in there. So
outside.
Yeah, if you're teleworking from home, sign up.
Yeah, that's perfect. I'll sign up now.
Yeah, so all my dual career peeps, go ahead and sign up. Now, I will say this. There are plenty of days where you're not going to get a single phone call. There's plenty of days you're going to get 3 or 4. You do have a lot of people calling for rentals. Whether or not you want to work that rental, that's up to you. Personally, I have found that they've run me around and very few have come to fruition. So I do just want to preface it with it's not going to be very consistent, and yet if you will do it consistently, you will get business. I'm telling you, I've had 8 deals in less than 2.5 years from this. So
if it's rentals,
look at Jamie already taking Thursday morning.
If it's rentals, do you just give them to somebody else, or what do you do?
I do. I've given rentals to other people. I did have a really great connection with someone at ProMove who were like the professional hookup renters with rentals. They used to give $50 Visa gift cards as a thank you gift for that. So try to establish a connection with someone at ProMove. Honestly, like Zach Rowe loves renters. Keep in mind, you can always convert a renter to a buyer if they have the credit and if they have the money down.
And what is that name again?
ProMove. It's all
ProMove.
caps.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha.
Call about renter referral program. Yep.
Okay.
Perfect. I'm gonna stop sharing. Oh, and the last thing is I wanted to make sure we kind of chat about pop buys and things like that and start talking about farming, because I think that it's amazing to go ahead and start doing at least your neighborhood. There were a couple agents that at the end of May popped by little seed packets. They hole punched the seed packet, put their card, and then tied like a string with, and it was long enough to like go around the door handle. So they could put it on the door handle. Last February, door knocking terrifies me. Last February, I purchased from Amazon, and I have a link saved that I want to send y'all. This link for door hangers, like little door hanger bags, super cheap, like $5 for 100 of them. I think I got 1,000 for like $20. So click on that link. That's Amazon for the door hanger bags. They come in all different sizes. So you can get like 4 inches wide, 10 inches. This one is 6 by 12, 6 by 16. Depends what you want to fit in it. If you want a half piece of paper, full piece of paper, if it's maybe like a CMA that you're going to do for everyone, but it allows you to hang things on the flag of the mailbox, the front door, etc. Tiffany Keys, I'm starting this week with a postcard, next week for 4th of July. That's awesome. So are you going to do American flags?
Yeah, I'm going to do an American flag. I'm going to do like a little pin and then just say, put my business card in there. And
yeah. I love that. That's awesome. Yeah, so like Father's Day is coming up, but unfortunately not all men have kids, and we don't know, you may not know that. So that one's kind of difficult. That might be just a really nice pop by or call for your sphere. Anyone that has kids, send them a text, Facebook message, something. Remember, real estate's about relationships and things like that. So Father's Day is coming up this weekend. I need to get a gift. And 4th of July is coming up, and that's a super easy one. So what questions do y'all have before I move on to my group C peeps? Hearing none. I appreciate y'all so much popping in. You rock. If y'all have not scheduled your June one-on-one, please let me know. I emailed everyone that either needs a second one already or that I haven't scheduled one with. So if you got that, please let me know. And y'all are so welcome. Thank you for tuning in. You guys rock. And shoot me a text or email if you need anything or if you want the expired numbers. Okay, love you guys so much. Toodles. Hi, Carol Ashworth. How are you? You're welcome, Beth. Toodles. All right, we have so many Brittany's. Which Brittany just came on? Brittany, which Brittany are you? Let me see, who's in our group C? Carol, Darren, Lauren, Wes. Oh, Brittany Smith. Brittany Smith, is that you?
Hi, Katie.
Hi, Sugar Booger. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I haven't seen you in so long.
I know.
We have Brittany Nelson, and of course, I think actually all of y'all spell them differently, so forgive me. I should have known that it was you. Lisette, Alicia, Brittany, Wes, Lauren, and Darren. Ooh, I'm a little sassy with Lauren and Darren right now. Let me text those little muffins. Carol, how is business? You're getting ready to go to the beach, right? Ooh, you're muted. 1 second. I'm going to try to unmute you. Okay, perfect.
I'm probably going in about 10 days or so.
Okay, perfect. And how is business? Because I know that you were fixing to terminate one to get it back under contract.
We did, and that was a bit of a scramble on Friday, but we got the one terminated and the other one back under, in the same property, back under contract, just with a different buyer.
Okay, perfect. And so that went well.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Okay.
Ann Meyer and I are co-oping on that, and
she's lovely.
Yeah, she has the listing, although it's not a listed property. And I brought the buyer, and I had a group of builders. There were 3 of them, and they halfway through their due diligence, they decided to change the structure of their partnership, and so that's why we terminated the one and did it with the other one. It's the same.
No, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Perfect. Great job. Brittany Smith, how's business?
It's okay. I had a closing today, but that's about it.
That's always fun. Were you buyer or seller?
Buyer.
Love it. How'd you find the buyer?
It was actually when I was with Reagan and team.
Okay, sweet. Okay, so did you give you had to give did you split on that just like you did with the team?
Yeah.
Okay, heard. Well, so I love that Group C. I mean, like y'all only have, I think, 8 peeps in Group C right now. Obviously, I'm trying to get Group B graduated up to Group C. But y'all have 8 peeps, and so I like that y'all get more of a private, kind of thing. So this is gonna be quick. I just want to make sure that we get anything that questions answered, whatever. So anything off the top of your head that y'all really want to go over today, I have a little bit of housekeeping and then some negotiations, suggestions, and then some lead gen talk. Nothing? Okay, lovely. Okay, perfect. So topics for the 22nd, so next Monday when we do our group coaching, from 12 to 1 will be buyer consultation. So that's probably going to be more for the Group A peeps. So what to do before, during, and after the buyer consult and the BBA. The next one will be from 1 to 2 p.m. social media marketing, both free and paid for. So that might be more up y'all's alley. And then the third one is from 2 to 3 p.m. will be circle prospecting. So around listings, open houses, etc., in terms of door knocking, calls, scripts, things like that. So sure that y'all would probably like the second one, maybe the third. The topics that we have for July would be, these are the ones that other peeps have shared with me. Let me know if any others come to mind. For sale by owners and expired scripts and how to do those calls. Listing checklist. So what to do after they've signed. What do you do? What do you do when you first list it? And I would love to have Amanda Churchwell come on that so she could talk about leveraging out, getting all the listing stuff done with them. We have the pre-list kit and the listing presentation, especially use lines in command to do those, to create those yourself. They have templates. Fourth, we have different financing and loan types. So maybe a little elementary for y'all, but I want to get some Supreme peeps to jump on that call and go over conventional versus FHA versus VA. And what does that mean for your buyers? And what does that mean if you're the listing agent? Fifth, we have an appraisal class to talk about what does an appraisal look like? How can I answer questions if a buyer asks about an appraisal? And then last but not least, inspections and what are those major deal killers and how we can overcome them if possible. And I would really love if Jason from Trademark could come on and talk to us about that. So yeah, any other ideas that y'all have?
I would like a new construction class.
Oh, okay. We just had that. Paul Zackos held it, I think, last Tuesday.
I missed it.
I was not on it because I had a MAPS coaching call, and yet I know that it's been loaded on the YouTube page. So give me 1 second. I'll find the link for it, and I'll put it in the chat for you because it was an hour long. He used to be a builder. He talked all about from the builder side as well as the agent side, because that was definitely one. Uploads. That was definitely one peeps were asking about. Perfect. Okay. Brittany, I just put the link to it. If you Google YouTube Keller Williams Peachtree Road, you'll see our team YouTube page, and I just put the link to that specific new construction class in there.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, lovely. So any others that y'all can think of to have? Sweet. No Saturday training this coming weekend. I believe that we will the following weekend. We're just nailing down, actually looking at hiring someone who will take over the Saturday trainings as well as our dual career peeps that need to do one-on-ones. Let me see, if y'all haven't joined the KWPR, the productivity coaching and the Rawls group Facebook groups, I would very strongly recommend that. DocuSign class, the next one will be tomorrow at 11. You had one last week. I believe it will be the same thing. command and opportunities and how to get paid will be tomorrow at noon, although I'm fairly certain that y'all use transaction coordinators, so that one may not be high on your priority list. There's an open house class with Rashonda Coleman coming Wednesday, 12:30 to 1:30. And then as per usual on Fridays at 1, Supreme Credit Essentials may be really great, and you can share that link with your buyers as well. I don't think y'all need Ignite. Just know if you have anyone that's coming in, or if you want to make up a class or audit a class. I believe we have a virtual Ignite coming mid-July. And then Bold Pivot is coming again mid-July to early August. So I just put that link in the chat as well. $99 compared to $7.99 when it's here in person. It's July 14th through August 6th. So I'll put that in the chat as well. July 14th through August 6th. And it will be Tuesdays and Thursdays, 2 hours a day, $99. So now you have the link if you are interested in that. And the first thing I wanted to talk about is in terms of negotiations. You know, y'all have done, Carol's been in business for years. Brittany, you've done obviously at least 5 transactions, enough to be in Group C. So I don't want to make this too elementary for y'all, but I do want to go over some negotiations and answer any questions that y'all have, specifically based around if it doesn't appraise. Because we are seeing right now with, oh, bye, Brittany. We're seeing right now that some appraisers are being kind of weird. Carol, has everything appraised for you recently?
No, this is a cash sale and it's builders, so we're not doing an appraisal.
Okay, okay, perfect.
Right.
Yeah, perfect. Oh, Brittany's back.
Weird how, Katie, are they under appraising?
Yes. One second. Sorry, I didn't mean to kick out a Group A-er. This is for Group C. So yes, there's a lot of people asking, are you all getting low appraisals as well? Because I've seen in writing, the appraiser has written in there due to market, blah, 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 with the economy. And I think that's so strange, number one. But anyway, so yeah, I wasn't sure if you've seen all yours come in.
Yeah, that's odd that an appraiser would be.
You would, very, very few people
deciding what the market is.
A lot of people are saying that. Now, I have had several come in right at purchase price. Like, okay, so thanks for helping me out there. You know, they came in a couple thousand less, and they were just like, okay, it's close enough. There you go.
Yeah.
My
last one, not today, but the last one was right at purchase price too.
Yeah, and if it's not one of those like 225, 350, if it's not one of those clean, you know, numbers, and it comes in, oh, it appraised for 347. I'm like, okay, no, it didn't.
Yeah, right.
It appraised for 347. You know what I mean? It was probably 345, and they just oofed us.
Bumped it.
Oh, look at Wes. He's connecting to audio. We'll say hi. Stand by. Well, hello, Wesley Harris. He's muted. I'll leave you muted. Hey, Wes, how are you? Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Hi, how's business?
Here we go. All right, let's turn this crap up.
Wes, you there? You there? Okay. So yeah, I wasn't sure if y'all were having weird appraisals. So Brittany, you said that one of yours didn't, it came in right at purchase price?
Yeah, it was like, what was the price? Like 147 or something like that.
Right, and like an awkward number, right? So let's be real, it didn't appraise right at 147 probably.
Right.
So keep in mind, are all of y'all bringing comps and leaving them, or maybe the other agent is leaving the comps that support a price whenever you're like, maybe not. I've had to do that on several of mine. So remember, you are allowed to leave comps if you're the listing agent, especially if you're the buyer's agent, because the appraiser works for the lender, right? So it's on your side of things. You're allowed to leave comps at the house. Sometimes I'll leave them on the kitchen counter. Sometimes I leave it in between like the glass door and the door, and I will make sure that they see any notes that I've written on there. If something in the neighborhood has sold for lower than you anticipated it, I am concerned sometimes that appraisers don't drive the area. Maybe you can hear all the 400 noise. Of course, it's not going to sell for as much as the house where you can't hear the 400 noise. So I'll make notes on the sheets that I print out to leave for the appraiser. There was one, I was on the buyer side of one in the neighborhood, and then a couple months later, I was on the listing side of that one. And so I knew that the one that my buyers purchased, there was really bad drainage issues in the crawl space. There were rats, there was wood rot going on, and so basically we had a lower purchase price in lieu of the repairs and things like that, just so that my buyers could qualify for it, and over time they would get it fixed. I made sure that I wrote on the comp sheet that I printed out, hey, this one was actually under contract for this. After the inspection, we lowered it like $15K so that it would help for my listing to appraise. So just make sure that you're doing that prior to appraisal. If you're on the buyer side, the lender should tell you when the appraiser is going out there. And if you're on the listing side, they will have to let you know, because they will do a showing request, or they'll email, text you, call you, whatever, for the CBS code. So either way, you should know when the appraiser is going to go out there. Now, if it doesn't appraise, do y'all know the 3 ways to overcome that and continue on through to closings? So if it appraises low, do y'all know the 3 things that can happen so that you still move forward with the transaction?
Is one of those things closing costs?
So one of those things is the seller can lower purchase price. Now they'll probably take away what closing costs they're going to give you, just so that their net remains the same. Did you mean that?
Yeah.
Perfect. So I had a property do that. I had a buyer purchasing an investment property. It came in $17,000 under purchase price. And so he was like, oh man, he really needed to sell it by the end of the year. We were set to close on December 30th. So he moved forward and he said, that's fine, I'll drop the price, but I'm gonna not give you the $4,000 in closing costs anymore. My buyer was like, fine, whatever. That was a nice to have, not a need to have. The other thing is the buyer may choose to come out of pocket. First, I'm always gonna ask the seller to come down in price. And the conversation kind of goes like this. Ring, ring to the listing agent. Hey, just wanted to let you know, appraisal came back. I know that we're under contract for $450. Appraisal came back at $440. What are your thoughts on this? And then I like to wait and see, do a little temperature check with them, what they think about that. If they're like, oh, okay, well, we were nervous about that. The seller will probably come down to $440. Yet they're probably not going to be willing to give you the closing costs anymore. You can always fight an appraisal. So keep that in mind. We had one on our team, we listed one over in the North Lake area. I think we were under contract for like $495 or so. And honestly, this was more like a $480 or something. We couldn't believe it went under contract for that price. And so when the appraisal came in low, we wound up calling someone, maybe it was someone with DS Murphy, I'm not sure who it was, but Jennifer Barnes had a good contact with an appraiser. And she said, hey, we're under contract for this. Appraisal came back at this. Would you mind coming back and doing a second opinion for us? And he did, and it appraised for that higher price point. And so it closed, and everyone was very happy. Whenever you do that, if that client, if that seller is not so over the moon with you that they instantly give you 3 referrals, you better be asking for them, because you just did them a heck of a service, saving their bottom line and keeping that net in their pocket. So
How did you choose your own appraiser?
I think it was, you know what, you ask a good question. I think that whenever you have a second opinion of appraisal, you're allowed, Carol, you've been in this longer than I have.
Yeah, you can choose if it's a second appraisal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure she contacted someone with DS Murphy. And when he did the appraisal, he presented it to the lender and the lender accepted it. Now, I don't know that the lender has to accept it, and yet they went ahead and did it. Thank you, Carol.
I had one a few years ago that it was my buyer, and I think it was about $13,000. It wasn't a huge amount of money, but the seller refused to reduce the price. This was up in Peachtree Corners. We actually had found a house that was like 3 or 4 doors down that they liked just as well. And when the seller refused to lower the price, we terminated and bought the house a few doors down. And the original house went into foreclosure for $13,000. Just made me crazy to think that somebody would be so short-sighted as to, lose their home for $13,000.
And I don't know who had it listed. And so you really don't know all sides of the story, right? And yet I wonder if maybe that agent didn't have strong enough negotiation skills with their own client.
Right. Yeah.
Help them.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it would be great if we could get that. I bet you did you have some closing costs coming from the seller on that one?
I really don't remember. It's been several years ago, and I don't recall. But my buyer, who I told the agent, I said, we have another option for a house. This is not the be all and end all.
And you wound up going with that other option.
And we ended up doing it, and she was very grateful. I mean, we ended up getting a good price and a good home, and the other person lost their home. It still bothers me to think about that.
And you know what? Unfortunately, if they had a weak agent, that agent probably didn't know how to overcome whatever objections the seller had.
Well, and that's one of those conversations that you have to have with people and say, I have to tell you something that you don't want to hear, but that you're in a precarious position here, and you're going to lose this transaction for $13,000. So.
Yeah, and therefore their house. So I don't know how much that foreclosure cost them, but
I'm sure financially as well as emotionally.
Worse than 13 grand net. Yeah, off the sale. Yeah, for sure. So keep in mind, seller can drop the price. They may elect to withdraw any of the closing costs, and that just looks like an amendment to change price. The buyer can come out of pocket the difference. I remember when I had just started in 2018 in Atlanta, I didn't know what this Beltline was because I had just moved here, right? And so I'm hearing all these stories about buyers coming out of pocket 10 grand because they're purchasing something right on the Beltline. Now, whether or not it has appreciated, in that time, I don't know. I think that it kind of, it probably hasn't gone up in value since then. I think they've probably just stabilized.
Yeah.
In fact, if they were to sell it right now, they would probably have to bring money to the closing table, because after realtor fees and whatnot. But if they're going to be there for a while and they wanted that prime location, hey, it depends on your situation. I don't know that I would really suggest a buyer do that unless I knew that they really needed that location and that was their long term.
Yeah, how in love they are with the property. They can.
And then of course you can do a combo of the two. So if we're only $5 grand away, if everyone's dragging their feet, just meet in the middle. That's another option. So just keep in mind, if you don't have something appraised, you can always get a reappraisal. The seller, if you represent the seller, I would recommend a reappraisal. If you represent there, I would recommend asking the seller to lower the price. Keep in mind, they may withdraw their closing costs help though, so to save their net. And then I wanted to make sure, do y'all know how to sign up for Agent on Duty? Because I want to kind of transition into some lead gen.
You go on to kw.com and
my KW. I'm going to share my screen with y'all so that you can see this because I think it's super important. Okay, can you see this, the screen that's now on mykw.kw.com?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So once you sign in to mykw.kw.com, you're going to click in small blue letters, My Market Center Intranet. And then it's going to take you to the Keller Williams Peachtree Road portion of the intranet. Click on Market Center in red. And then click on Resources and Agent on Duty. Oh, perfect. Okay, so this week was full up, right? And the best part about this is everyone that has signed up is one of our PC agents. So I think that's awesome. When you click on next week's though, you'll see that Jamie just took these two and Beth took this one because those three were available like an hour ago. And then I showed Group B how to do this. So you can still sign up for Wednesday afternoon or either of the Friday shifts. Those are still available. Outside of COVID, you do have to physically be in the office because there are walk-ins. You'll get all of the unrepresented buyers and sellers that call. However, you'll also get the walk-ins. So right now you do not have to physically be in the office because we're asking y'all not to come in. But all you would do is find one that's still green. That means it's available. Click sign up, check this little box, and then confirm reservation. I have gotten 8 pieces of business that have closed from being agent on duty. I've also done this almost every week of the year, twice a week for over 2 years. So it's definitely a numbers game. You may not get calls every single time, and yet you will get business from doing agent on duty if you do it consistently. So sign up there. Bit of a tip. They open up Sunday at noon for the following week. So this Sunday, the 21st, the 29th through the July 3rd will become available. The office is closed Friday, July 3rd. If you sign up, no one is going to be here to forward the calls to you. So just keep that in mind. If the office isn't open, agent on duty doesn't exist for that day, whether it's COVID or not COVID. No one's here to forward the calls to you. But if you go onto the intranet right at noon on Sunday, the 21st, this coming Sunday, the calendar will open up for the following week. And then you can sign up for one or two, up to 2 blocks for agent on duty. So I just want to make sure that y'all know that. Any questions? Sweet. Also remember that for circle prospecting, open houses or listings, or for doing expired calls, I pay for Mojo. So please don't go out and pay for those unless you want to have the dialer. You can't use my dialer, but I'm happy to give you the numbers in a spreadsheet, and you can call for that. You can farm your neighborhood. I'll give you the names, the addresses, and the phone numbers. Just shoot me an email. And then the next time I see that email when I'm in front of my computer, more than happy to send those to y'all. Expireds are great to call on Sunday afternoons. That was always the time I did them because, one, most agents aren't doing them. I can't tell you a single other agent that calls on a Sunday afternoon. So hopefully I can hit up the people that expired on Friday or Saturday. I can get them because no one else has called them yet. There's a lot of agents that call Monday to Friday, 8 to 12, sometime in that morning slot. That's not me. You're more than welcome to do that. I just go by strategy. Also, the peeps probably aren't working Sunday afternoons, the sellers, and so they're more likely to answer than a weekday morning. So I'm a little biased, but if you want expired numbers, just shoot me an email with what day you're going to be calling, and the morning of, I'll send you over the phone numbers. If you email me right now, hey, I'm gonna call Sunday, can you send me the numbers? I'm not going to send them to you till Sunday because I want to make sure that you get the people who expire between now and then. And then for farming, if y'all are going to farm a neighborhood, your neighborhood, one that you really like, etc., just remember that needs to be a consistent effort between phone calls, items of value, be it pop buys, CMAs, mailers, etc. It can get a little expensive. You can also DIY and do it yourself. Zachary Rowe, who's in Group A for just a little bit longer because he has some stuff under contract. He'll move up to Group B soon. He bought 500 postcards from Canva. It's $90. 500 postcards. He walked 250 around. So he didn't have to pay for mailing and postage. He walked his neighborhood and gave out 250. He's already gotten 2 calls about it. And he did this last week, I believe. I want to show y'all an awesome website called popbyideas.com. It's that simple. We're a time of year right now where it's a great time to do pop buys because you have 4th of July coming up. So one young lady from Group B is buying the little American flag pins that go on your shirt or your lapel, and she is dropping those off in a little baggie with her business card to her neighborhood. She's starting, I think, with phone calls this week. Next week, she's dropping off the little pins, and then I think the week after, she's following up with a mailer of just listed properties in their area. So popbyideas.com is awesome. You can go here and see ideas for summer. One that I love are do I have them with me? Okay, I think they're in my truck. They're like the cheap sunglasses that come in different colors. So you can do like American flag colored ones or just bright fun colors for summer. They're like $1 each, and you can brand them on the side right here, like Real Estate Kate, and then my phone number or something like that. Barbecue spices, marinade injector, barbecue sauce, they're saying are top summer pop ideas. Reusable shopping bags with your logo and information on there. I like koozies. Roasting sticks for s'mores, putting your information on there. Anyway, there's a bunch of different ideas on here for summer pop buys. Take advantage of the fact that 4th of July is coming up. A great touch for your sphere is Father's Day is this Sunday. So anyone that you know that's a dad, give them a call, Facebook message, text, etc. If y'all have Pinterest, you can do pop buy ideas on Pinterest and you'll see a lot of really good ones. It's fun to play off of the seasons, and yet there's always going to be good ones that you can do, like I'll go the extra mile for your referrals and put a thing of extra gum in there. There's all kinds of good ones in here for just random times of the year as well as seasonal ones. So just some ideas. Another thing is on Amazon, I'll put in a link in the chat. Door hanger bags on Amazon. Put in the chat a link for those. They're the clear plastic bags that you can put on mailbox flags or on doorknobs if you want to leave something. I'm terrified of door knocking. So I one time did Valentine's Day candy with a cute little quarter-size page. It was colored, it was print color. I would love to earn your business, something that was Valentine's Day. And then I put a bunch of candy in there that I just gotten from the dollar store. So it wound up being definitely less than $1 each. And I think I did $100. And I did not do anything else after that. I was not consistent. I didn't get a single lick of business. So please keep in mind, this is going to require consistent follow-up, at least once a month. So, what questions do y'all have? What can I help y'all with? Y'all being Group C, we go a little bit faster just because we're not kind of caught up in little things. So what do y'all need? Well, I still have you on the line. Anyone? Wes, I saw that you unmuted yourself.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I just got this ATAC completed with this agent from Keller Williams down in Noonan. Remember when I was telling you I was going down there to Coweta to look at some property? So we went under contract down there, and we were going back and forth about this copper piping that the lender wanted us to get done. And ultimately, I mean, it wasn't a hard fix, so we gave it to them, but they agreed to fix basically everything else that the lender required us to fix, according to FAA. So, I mean, that popped into my head, but I don't particularly have any questions about it. I just was what popped into my head first whenever you ask.
Yeah, no, I love it. That's awesome. Okay, cool. When is that set to close?
July 15th.
Oh, that's a great day. That's my 32nd birthday. Congrats to you.
Thank you.
You will be one more transaction wiser, and I will be one more year older, and it will be.
Well, my birthday was on Friday, so there's two of us.
That's right. Happy late birthday.
Why, thank you.
For
I
that.
appreciate it.
27?
28.
I'm sorry, 28. Good for you. That's all.
Yeah, you're good. I like 27.
Britt, do you have anything going on business-wise that you have questions about?
No questions.
What Legion are y'all going to be doing this week?
I actually have a list of some people that just got qualified by a lender that I'm working with right now, and I'm going to
awesome.
Them. Yeah, I mean, he was like, "Look, man, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot you these names." So he gave me like 2 pages full of names, and
what?
Yeah.
How did you meet this lender?
He's known my mom for a while.
That's amazing. Okay, so you're telling me that he got these unrepresented buyer leads somehow, online, whatever, and they are pre-approved, and now they want to do business.
Pre-approved and essentially qualified. They're all ready to start looking. So I'm just going to reach out, see if they're working with an agent, and from there we'll work. So
that's amazing. Okay, good. Yeah, nurture that relationship like crazy.
Absolutely. I just
that's
saw
awesome.
him this weekend,
Congrats.
so.
Perfect. And Carol, are you doing anything? I know that you're going on vacation for a month. Are you doing anything before that, Legion-wise?
Yeah, I am. Actually, I'm. This house that I have under contract is in my neighborhood, so I think I'm going to use that as a little bit of a springboard. I've been kind of wanting to do some farming in this neighborhood anyway. There are a number of agents who work here and who've been here for a while, but I think I'll use that as a little bit of a springboard because my buyers are going to be remodeling this house and putting it back.
That's awesome.
So I think it's probably a good beginning point for that. I'm a little concerned though. How big? I used to farm my an older neighborhood that I lived in a few years ago, and then we downsized into this neighborhood in Decatur. But it's a fairly large neighborhood, and I don't know quite how to control the numbers so that I'm not that I don't have 1,000 houses that I'm supposed to be dealing with.
So I think what I would recommend is looking at a map, like bird's eye view, right? Of plotting out the streets, because that's what I did for my neighborhood. I really only wanted 200 to start with. And so what I did was, let's just do an example. I'm gonna share my screen again. Okay, so what I did for my neighborhood was just found my house. Oops, it's not where I want to write that. I'm gonna write it in here. Perfect. And look at that cute little house. And I looked at the map for my neighborhood. So I definitely wanted to do, everyone that's here on my street that kind of makes a C, peeps behind me. And then I was like, okay, there's not all that many that lead over here with these 2 little cul-de-sacs to the main road. Then you have another little street right here with a tiny cul-de-sac. So I included all those. Then I wanted to include the rest of Gloucester Drive. And that's kind of where I stopped. I did these over here. I don't know that I've ever driven that street, but I drive in from Gloucester and from Sarah and Coolidge all the time. I drive Jericho all the time if I'm coming from downtown Tucker. So I wanted to definitely get the ones that I had driven before. I don't know why. Okay, now they're loading. Okay. So when I drew mine, I basically printed it out. I took like a screenshot of this, put it in Word, and I mapped out and drew what I wanted. And then I just physically counted to make sure it was the number that I wanted. So for mine, it was Galilee, Jericho, Samaria Court, Samaria, Gloucester, down here in Gloucester in these two little cul-de-sacs, Sarah's and Mariana. So it came out to be about 200, which is exactly what I wanted. And literally I drew it out. And if you tell me what streets you want, unless you're going to pay for it yourself, I'm happy to do the Mojo thing. It may not give you all of them. So if you're okay with paying for mailers, the company that you do mailers through will do every single address, and they'll mail it out to you.
Okay, well, I'll have to think
That's
about
what
that.
I did. I like physically went through, because I'm one of those be thrifty kind of peeps. Green light with my expenses, and so I would rather just walk the dog and put them in, you know.
Well, and I was just thinking that I have boxes of postcards, the large 6x9 postcards. They're blue and they're branded, and you know they're mine.
Sure.
And so I think I'll probably just do that myself. So it, you know, makes it even probably more important to not to limit it a little bit, because I'm going to have to print all those and label them and all that sort of thing. So, but my printer will do all that. So
yeah, love it. Oh yeah, no, it's the thing is, whenever you order flyers and mailers, like I said, Zach got, I think, quarter size piece of paper ones, 500 from Canva for $90. And that's not the expensive part. The expensive part is postage,
right?
Your standard postage. So he literally walked 250 one morning, and he had already gotten one email in that time from someone at the beginning of it, and had a face-to-face conversation with another lead while he was doing it. So another reason he wanted to walk it is to hopefully get more face-to-face contact.
Right. Well, and I walk my neighborhood every day. Anyway,
love it.
You know, that would be an
right.
easy to do.
Cardio and lead gen, 2 for 1. Perfect.
Yeah.
Any questions, concerns, comments, emotional outbursts, help that y'all need with things while I have you? I'm going to put in the chat the KWPR YouTube channel link, because we have been uploading all of our Zoom stuff. So there's the new construction class with Paul Zakos. There's the luxury class with Lisa Penson. Coffee and Command has a lot of good how-tos.
Do you know if the Katie? Do you know if that newsletter one got loaded in? You and I
it
talked about
did.
that.
The group coaching from last month.
Yeah, right.
That one got posted, and it's the only one that's 3 hours long in there.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it's the 3, because all 3 of these calls back to back got uploaded.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, there's the DocuSign class. So they're off tomorrow at 11, but it's the original one from last week.
It's on there. Yeah. Okay.
Lots of good Coffee and Command. Billy Chansey's Agents in Growth is on there. All the team meeting ones. Gosh, my face is on here a lot for the group coaching ones. So this will be uploaded in the next couple of days.
Also, your fitness page is off to an amazing start. I just want to point that out. We've been crushing it. We're crushing it.
Yeah, whenever I was doing the fitness Zooms, apparently they're still on here. Oh, there I am. Tread lightly. Thanks, Wes, for bringing that up. And here are that y'all have or need. If you need circle prospecting information for open houses or listings, shoot me an email with the address. Happy to send you the phone numbers. I'm pretty sure, Brittany, I know that you coach with Kenya. So you have your one-on-ones whenever y'all have them scheduled. Wes, today at 5, yeah?
Yep, today at 5.
And then Carol, we were last Thursday. Okay, cool. So we'll schedule another one in the future. Awesome. Y'all rock. I appreciate you. I don't want to take up too much more of your time because we kind of covered everything I wanted to chat about. So unless y'all have anything else that you need, it's going to let you go enjoy the rest of your Monday.
Except me, because you're getting me back later. So.
One more time.
But except me, because you're getting me back later.
Yeah, except you. You don't get to enjoy your Monday until 5 for double purple.
All right, I'll see you later.
Sweet.
Thanks, Katie.
Yeah, y'all are so welcome. Let me know if you need anything. You rock. Thank you for being on the call.
Thank you.
Bye, darling.